Quick disclaimer for everyone, this video was recorded before the August state of the game came out. If you're interested in that, we have a video covering it on the channel. Anyways, take it away, Tallen.
1 month. 1 month, ladies and gentlemen. That is how long we have until the next and potentially final Destiny 2 showcase to show off the final DLC for the Light and Darkness Saga. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, of course, we're talking about Final Shape. And I know we've said this in the past. I know many content creators have said this for other DLCs and other expansions and everything, but this is the big one. Bungie has to prove themselves with this one. They had an amazing outing with the Witch Queen and not so good with Lightfall. So we are now back in the middle. Will they be able to deliver? Are they going to give us an amazing campaign and story to finish out this saga? Are we going to finally get new strikes and PvP maps? Don't hold your breath. Are we going to see more Gambit? What am I talking about? No, we're never going to see any more Gambit. Ooh! Regardless though, what are we going to expect from this? A new subclass? New locations? Who knows? But all we know is that we have a lot to talk about because, unfortunately, Destiny's been in kind of a rut. So we're going to talk about all of that leading up to this big reveal because we plan to go live and react to it when this thing goes on August 22nd. So if you're looking forward to that and you want to see us live, make sure you sub to the channel and leave a like on the video. Let us know what you're expecting from Lightfall and do you think Bungie is going to be able to deliver? What up everyone, Tallen here, 59 Direct, and subscribe to the channel so we can continue to do more awesome content just like this. And if you want to see other videos, guides, reviews, and other types of discussions, make sure you check out our other videos and playlists up in the top right corner. All right, let's get into this. Now, if you're a fellow Destiny 2 player, you've probably seen that Destiny is in a bit of a rut right now, and that happens every year around this time, right? Brand new expansion comes out, the season is okay, the next season comes out, and everyone's kind of like, okay, you know what? This is kind of like my break, which makes sense. It's the summertime for most people. It's kind of their time off. They're going out and do other things, playing different games, all that kind of stuff. But it does sting a little bit, especially for this, because this is supposed to be the year of seasons right before Final Shape. Now, if you were to ask people what their confidence level is in terms of Bungie right now to deliver this final expansion for the Lightness and Darkness Saga, which has been going on for 10 years, if you look between both Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, a lot of players are very skeptical right now. Like I said at the very beginning of the intro, we had the amazing campaign that was the Witch Queen. Everything from the story, the setting, the revamped subclass, which then allowed us to go into the next subclasses in the further seasons in that year. It all worked really well. It wasn't perfect by any means. We definitely could have used some new strikes, some new PvP maps. Yeah, my fellow PvP players out there. Sorry, man. It's pretty obvious that while PvP is amazing, sometimes it's obviously not on their top of the to-do list, and it's mostly meant as a side thing to kind of keep people enjoyed. I'm not saying that they should actually get rid of PvP. That's what makes Destiny unique, this mix of PvE and PvP. I have stated, however, though, that due to this being a looter shooter and loot and all that kind of stuff, and balance must be a huge headache, and I do not envy the two interns in the back of Bungie Studio working on the single computer from the 90s trying to make PvP work, because honestly, that's what it feels like sometimes. And obviously, Gambit, I don't even know. Personally, just get rid of Gambit or actually try to do something with it, Bungie. My God, do something with that game mode already. But regardless, Witch Queen was an amazing expansion. And because of that expansion, when Lightfall was announced and they showed off a brand new subclass and they showed off the setting and everything, we're like, okay, you know what? This is looking pretty good. Only to then find out that Lightfall, which we kind of knew at some point, but Lightfall is a filler expansion. And I'm not saying that as just because, oh, the story was mediocre. They drip feed us the story stuff, because we're still finding out story stuff right now from Lightfall, which shouldn't be the case. It should be expanding upon stuff that we already had a cohesive story, but we don't. And that is one of the biggest problems when it came to Lightfall, that everyone basically unanimously agrees. Unless you're just like a Bungie defender, then I can't help you with that. But if you remember a few years ago, Bungie came out and said, look, we need an extra year to finish out this Light and Darkness Saga to make the story complete. And oh boy, was that a load of BS. Now, I know pretty much for the most part why they did this. And for anyone who has looked at what is happening currently right now, what is going to be releasing soon, and what their plans are that Bungie themselves have laid out, not that hard to see. combination of wanting to make sure that they have actually hit that 10 years that Destiny has been around, the fact that they are trying to now get another game marathon to be going as well, so that they have 2 games coming in. That's more revenue, which is good for business and everything. But if they end Destiny a year before Marathon is rumored, at least at this point, to release, that doesn't exactly help them right there in terms of the revenue they could be bringing in for having 2 major games. If you have Marathon, if you have Destiny, then Destiny's releasing its expansion in February, while Marathon could be having its, big updates or its release or whatever, maybe in the fall or something like that, right? Have something in the winter/spring and have something in the fall/ maybe summer or winter of the end of the year, who knows? But regardless, that's kind of the business thing that they're looking at, right? And if you look at how the opening cutscene in Lightfall is, and then look at the ending cutscene, it works pretty well. Because at the very beginning of the cutscene, when the Traveler and the Witness are going at it and you see those blasts, they shut the doors, right, at the station. And then when the station opens up, where we see our main characters that we've seen for a long time now, all of a sudden, the Traveler's got that big triangle in it. And you could just easily plop in an extra cutscene right there, and boom, that's Lightfall. Because Lightfall was originally meant to be the final DLC, but then they're like, no, we got to do this. And again, part of it, maybe it is to expand the story, who knows? But regardless, it was mostly due to business and what they want to do to have other games. Which I get it. Bungie's a business. That's what they're going to do. We've said that multiple times, not only for Bungie, we said it for Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo. It doesn't matter. You insert name of company that makes game here, they're a business first and foremost, and that's what they're going to do. But regardless, when they said that and they're like, okay, we actually are going to use this to expand the story and the campaign and everything like that, in reality, not so much, because man, Neo Muna, it's got some good parts to it, I will say. It had some interesting moments, but overall, as the Infinity War, as everyone likes to put it, to the Destiny saga, not so much. Couple that together with the just drip feed of the story that's been happening since the release of Lightfall up until now, and people are just like, why are you doing this, Bungie? If you don't know what I'm talking about, the big question of the veil from the campaign all the way back in February/March left a lot of people to be desired. You had everyone who was just making videos and be like, Bungie, what the F is this? All to come find out that we finally figured out what the veil is for the most part, and we got one of the best cutscenes, but there are still some lingering questions, which is fine if you want to have a few lingering questions. But for the big question, we finally got it answered season after the expansion. What was the point of the expansion then? We should have had this all done in the expansion when we wrapped up that campaign, not drip feed this, which again, I get it, the live service stuff, and which is why I'm honestly tired when it comes to all the live service BS stuff that we have to deal with and everything like that. Anyone who ever says the old days were better, you know what? Honestly, I agree sometimes. But here we are. We have finally figured out who the Witness is for the most part. We have figured out what the veil is, and we have the Final Shape expansion coming out hopefully in February, assuming it's not delayed. But also we're going to have the showcase here in August. So will they actually go the same route where we're going to get a campaign to finish things up technically with Final Shape, but then they're still going to drip feed stuff going into the final year expansion? Because when the expansion ends in Final Shape, let's just lay a timeline right now. It is end of February/March, Final Shape releases, and then go through the campaign and everything like that, and the raid comes out about 2 weeks later. Are we technically done with Final Shape? Or are they still gonna drip feed stuff? Or are the rest of the seasons gonna be like, hey, the story of Final Shape is done, Witness defeated, or whatever happens, right? Then, hey, over here, we gotta start preparing you for the next thing. Because Bungie has come out and said basically that the Vex are gonna be a big focus after the Final Shape, which, okay, I guess that's something right there, right? But I'm gonna get into why I still think that, while Bungie is still technically going to keep making Destiny content because it makes them a ton of money and everything like that, I don't think this is gonna be the same Destiny that we know after Final Shape. I'll get into that in a second. Going back to the whole story thing and everything, when it comes to this expansion, what is going to happen? Will they go the route of Witch Queen and actually make this a good campaign? Or is it gonna be just kind of average? Is it not really going to be that good? Is that what most people are expecting? If you look online right now, that's what a lot of people are expecting. It's been 10 years in the making. How can you possibly live up to the expectations, especially since the story has gotten actually pretty good? ever since Forspoken. It's got me pretty worried. So as with any game, ever since I basically became an adult, I've always said, go in with low expectations. Do not try to overhype yourself. I know it can be a little hard sometimes, especially when you see a good game or you know it's a sequel to something that has been particularly good in the past. It is not always 100% guaranteed. I'm not saying it's not okay to be happy or excited for something, but don't be like crazy hype levels or anything to just all of a sudden be let down and disappointed, because you set yourself up essentially. All of us do this. All of us do. I did this when I was a teenager and everything. We set ourselves up where we got these huge high expectations, and unfortunately that's not the way it's going to be, and it falls flat. It falls flat, right? Even if it's actually a good game or good DLC or anything like that, sometimes you're still let down just because of that. So will the showcase show anything? Well, obviously it's going to show some things, but will it show what we're looking for? Are we going to get that cohesive story? Are we going to get a brand new subclass? There's been that leak going around recently that people are saying it looks to be real, or if it is a troll, then they definitely put a lot of effort into it. The whole red color and everything, we're not really sure what it means. I would personally expect a new subclass just simply because it's the final big DLC, even though technically we got one last year, and some people will say that we don't get new ones every single year, which to an extent, yes, but I feel like something with Final Shape, it's probably been in the works for quite a while, I would assume at least. But regardless, who's to say? We have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. I'm expecting one, but if I don't see one, then I'm not going to be like, oh my God, cancel Destiny, cancel Bungie, all this stuff. I'm going to be like, that's just the way, and unfortunately is right now. Are we going to see new things like strikes? Are we going to see new PvP maps? Hell no, we're not going to see new PvP maps. We're probably going to see one brand new strike, which is sad, because I think if Bungie actually would focus on the core game itself after this final expansion, aka really giving us a ton of new strikes, revamping old ones that are just, crazy, stupid, easy, actually getting some new PvP maps and everything like that, you could actually bring back even more players. And who knows, maybe that's their plan after Final Shape is finally done. They can be like, okay, now that we've gotten all these expansion stuff done and out of the way, we are going to now go back and fix this. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. But regardless, we could potentially see something like that. To finish up my final point that I mentioned in the middle of the video, though, is will Destiny continue on after the Final Shape? Now, the obvious business answer is yes. Bungie has stated multiple times that Destiny is not going anywhere. Will it be good, though? And I've said this before in a couple of previous videos, including our guides and everything like that. I don't expect the majority of the team to still be around on Destiny after the Final Shape is done. We've already seen that a good chunk of the team has left that handle PvP and everything like that to go work on Marathon. And anyone who says no, or if Bungie denies it, really? I highly doubt that. But I 100% expect a lot of the team currently working on PvE/expansion of this Destiny 2 final season to move on to something else. And that's normal within the business. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or anything like that, but I highly expect them to move on, which means Bungie is either going to have a skeleton of a team, or they're going to have to hire new people, and that's going to take time to get them used to working with all of this stuff that is Destiny 2. And I expect a pretty big lull in the game. And I'm not just simply saying that, oh no, we're not getting the seasonal content as fast as possible or something like that. No, I'm just saying it's going to probably take longer for certain updates. It's going to take things like sandbox updates to probably not be as frequently, essentially. Whatever happens in the year after this Final Shape expansion hits, I wouldn't be surprised if we go like a year and a half to almost 2 years where they're like, okay, where are we going to take this story now? Again, we know the Vex stuff is happening, but a lot of that I could easily just see being seasonal DLC story stuff. And that's basically it. In terms of a huge expansion, I don't think they're going to get it done the following February. So February 2025. I don't think that's how it's going to work, at least in my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong. And if I am, I'll eat my words easily, 100%. But it will be interesting to see what happens because Marathon will be coming out soon. That's what a lot of people are expecting in terms of the PvP side of stuff, to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go try out this PvP stuff because I guarantee you it's a Bungie PvP game. It's probably going to do pretty well. In terms of the seasonal stuff, that's obviously, we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there. I just don't know what's going to happen with Destiny after this. So I am very curious to know, obviously, what they're going to be showing in the showcase, what's happening after the initial expansion / the raid. Don't know what's going to be happening in terms of the seasonal stuff. Where are we going to be at this time next year in 2024 when we would expect a showcase, and there's probably not really going to be one, or if there is one, it's probably very minimal, and it's just going to be like looking back on Destiny for this long, and then at the very end they're going to show like, oh yeah, by the way, here's some concept art or something like that. Again, I could be completely wrong, but overall it will be interesting to see what happens here. So anyway, I've rambled on long enough though. I want to know what your guys' personal thoughts are when it comes to the state of Destiny right now. Do you think they're gonna be able to deliver on the expansion that's coming out in February? Assuming there's no delays. And do you think the showcase is gonna show enough? And do you have faith in them to finish this and continue on forward? I'm very interested to see what you're gonna say down below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and consider subscribing. It's a great way to help us out and it's free. So anyway, I've been Tallen, founder and direct, everyone. Thank you so much for everyone that stopped by, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Johnny.